Alright, so today we're gonna get IPS installed. These are from that lot of 12 Game Boys we had, got 10 fixed. So we're gonna be doing new screen, new front glass. These are actually glass, not plastic. Board and new UV printed case. So we're gonna be doing the Kirby here. But first thing we're gonna do, go ahead and area cleaned up a little bit. Nice little sheet down. Go ahead. This opened up. Send new screws in the back. Is always nice. That face down. And I'm doing a board with the LED on it, so we're doing Kirby in the pink case. I'm gonna get the one with the light. I'll just try to leave the plastic on there for as long as possible, just so I don't get fingerprints all over the screen. It stays on. They ship out with them on it too. We'll just have that on the inside. Get our ribbon cable. This is the sticky back side. Screens. Let's go ahead and get this. Very nice, very nice. Lined up and stuck down. It's a little harder doing with gloves on. Without. A new IPS green. Off from there. Those parts are fairly easy. I just like doing them in that order because it keeps as much. I haven't had any with dust getting into the screen when I do that. This little flex cable right here does attach to a little port on this cable. It's clicked in. About a double-sided tape on the back end of that. This helps hold that down. Plug back in. Flip our screen around and just make sure everything fits nice before we start moving forward with anything else. And we're lining up good. This is the touch sensor for the IPS display. There is a side that has a little exposed circle on that. You want that side towards the edge of the board. You want it towards the edge over in the corner. I know a lot of this is going to be a little hard to see just because my camera angle, but I will try to get that taken care of for y'all. And I'm going to try to stick these up in the upper left corner. It's a good spot inside the case. There's nothing really around it to interfere with it. And I use a very tiny amount of adhesive. It's actually for gluing down electronics ribbon cables, so it's not going to damage anything on it. That done. Let's get our buttons put in. Let's flip back over. Come on, speaker. I'm just going to get the screws for the board in just to help hold that in place while we're working on the rest of it. And their screw kit. They send the new tri-wings and 3 new Phillips. There we go. Those are in, screwed down. Now we have a couple of solder points to do on this. One is for the activating the color touch, and the other one is for the actual power. The power is going to connect to the bottom of the switch. I don't know how easy that's going to be to see, but it's going to connect from the bottom of the switch here to the pad on the board. Touch part's going to go from pad here over to that cable or the sensor we stuck off to the side. That is all brighter that light is going to get. Since we are going from old power connections, on the board, I'm actually going to try and scrape a little bit around the power, but we need to attach to just to get some of the oxidation off. And put a little bit of flux over the top. It might be easier if I flip this upside down. We got our spots. That's the other side of the cable we need to attach to it. A little dot on there. A small section of wire. Listen with it. You can use this for the power side. I usually just use this for the touchpad. Mostly just because I like to use my own wire. I like to use my own wire for the power side. And it's not a preference thing, it's just this cable seems to be cut pretty well. To the right length for working with that. Little dot of fresh solder. That's the spool of wire I've been using and everything else. And that is pretty much that side done. I'm a little partial to tweezers. You actually have to squeeze for them to open, just when doing tiny wires, 'cause then it's not sitting there trying to like have your hands cramp. Well, you're really not trying to have them cramp, but they don't end up cramping up on you. You're sitting there trying to squeeze wires for a set amount of time. I'm trying to get them all lined up. Power switch in there. I like these screwdrivers, yet at the same time I kind of hate them. I like them for the fact of they don't have a whole lot of torque, so you still need to manually tighten a lot of your screws. There's less chance of certain things getting stripped out when you're initially putting them in. And also when you have a ton of stuff you're working on and you're, pulling 70, 80 screws at a time, or depending on what consoles you're working on, you could be pulling 70 screws. Well, not 70, but I've been through a couple that have about 58 screws inside of them to get to certain components. Just to test some stuff out. Our speaker is working. The contrast now controls brightness. Let's pop a game in and check it out. My camera's really blowing that color out. Got the touch sensor up in the top. Just changes through color palettes. And we're good to go. That is on Kirby. We have a Wario that is also done. Got a couple more coming. They will be in our store link in the description below. Thanks for stopping in, and have a good night.